You're not actually lazy like you think, you're just stuck in an invisible loop, repeating itself every single day without you even truly realizing it. You try to start, then end up procrastinating again. You promise yourself you'll change, but in the end, everything still goes back to where it was. That feeling leaves you exhausted, doubting yourself and slowly believing that you lack discipline. But the truth isn't that simple. If you've ever felt this way, ever felt stuck without understanding why, comment 1 so I know you're not alone. Every day of yours starts almost exactly the same, repeating so often that you don't even notice it anymore. You wake up, but your mind still feels foggy, not fully awake. Your hand instinctively reaches for your phone, just planning to scroll for a bit, as a way to warm up the day. You tell yourself you'll watch for a few minutes, then get started. But that few minutes stretches longer than you expect, one video after another, one notification after the next, and you still haven't begun. You tell yourself, today will be different. Today I'll focus. Today I'll change, I'll take things more seriously. But when you sit down, you open your book, then close it again because you don't know where to start. You open your laptop, then switch tabs, looking for something more comfortable. You glance at the clock, sigh, and wonder why you're still like this. And then that day slips by, just like the ones before it, with nothing changing. You're not someone who doesn't try, in fact, you've tried so many ways to change yourself. You've read books, watched self-improvement videos, listened to motivational messages that made you believe you could be different. You've tried waking up earlier, tried planning your day, tried building the habits everyone says will help you grow. And there were moments when you truly believed this time would be different. You had motivation, energy, and even hope that you were finally on the right path. You started seriously, with real determination, like this was the last time you'd allow yourself to fail. But then, everything slowly drifts back to the way it was. You start abandoning what you were doing, your focus fades, and those moments of procrastination begin to show up more and more. You tell yourself you'll just take a short break, but then everything slips away again. And the worst part isn't that you fail. It's that you start getting used to it. Used to starting and quitting, used to the feeling that you can't change. At some point, you begin questioning yourself, not just casually, but with thoughts that keep repeating in your head, day after day. What's wrong with me? You don't understand why you've tried, why you've put in effort, why you've tested so many different ways, yet nothing seems to change. You look at other people, they're focused, disciplined, moving forward every day. And you wonder, why can they do it, but I can't? That question doesn't just confuse you. It slowly starts to wear down your belief in yourself. Then another thought appears, heavier than the last. Maybe, this is just who I am. Maybe I'm not disciplined enough, not strong enough to change. You start doubting your own ability, doubting even the dreams you once believed were possible. You look in the mirror, but you no longer see clearly the person you want to become. All you see is a version of yourself that feels stuck, repeating, and slowly drifting further away from everything you once expected. You start to believe something that sounds very logical, that the problem is you. You think you're lazy, that you're not as hardworking as other people. You look back at all the times you procrastinated, all the unfinished plans, and conclude that you lack discipline, that you don't have the seriousness to follow anything through to the end. You begin labeling yourself that way, repeating it in your head so many times that it starts to feel like an absolute truth. And then you think, if I just try a little harder, if I push myself a bit more, if I become stricter, tougher on myself, things will change. So you tighten control, set rigid rules, force yourself to act, to complete things. But the more you push, the more exhausted you feel. The harder you try, the easier it becomes to quit when you can't keep up that pace. What you don't realize is, this very belief is what's keeping you stuck, pulling you deeper into the same loop, with no clear way out. But the truth is, there's something no one has clearly told you. You can try every single day, wake up with determination, work harder than yesterday, even force yourself to keep taking action, and still end up feeling like you're not moving forward at all. You look back at an entire week, an entire month, and realize that despite all the effort, nothing has really changed. That's what makes it even more confusing, because you know you didn't completely give up. You did try. Many times. But the problem isn't that you're weak or lack willpower like you think. The truth is, you're running, burning energy, doing everything you can, yet you're running in a closed loop. You're moving a lot, but you're not actually moving forward. And if you've ever felt like you're trying, putting in effort every day, but the results still don't change, still feel stuck in place, comment yes so you know you're not the only one trapped in this loop. Effort has never been a guarantee of progress. You can run fast, pour all your energy, discipline, and time into your work, but if you're heading in the wrong direction, the faster you run, the farther you move away from where you actually want to be. That's why you feel exhausted, yet see no results. You stay busy, you keep trying, but inside there's this emptiness, as if nothing is really leading anywhere. The problem isn't that you're not working hard enough. It's not that you lack willpower or determination. The truth is, you're not truly clear on your direction. You're taking action, but you don't know exactly where you're going, why you're going there, or what actually matters most. Without a clear direction, all effort becomes scattered. You do a lot, but not deeply. You try many things, but not long enough to create real results. And then you end up right back where you started, repeating the same loop, without understanding why. If the path you started on was never the right one, then trying harder, moving faster, or pushing yourself more won't fix the problem. It doesn't bring you closer to your goal, it only takes you farther away from where you truly want to be. You're still moving, still putting in effort, but the more you go, the more lost you feel. And then you start wondering why you've done so much, yet nothing seems to change. That feeling makes you believe you're stuck, that something must be wrong with you. But the truth is, you're not weak. You're not lacking willpower like you think. The problem is that you keep moving, without a clear map to guide you. Without direction, every effort becomes scattered and disconnected. And when you don't know exactly where you're going, no matter how hard you try, you'll keep ending up in the same place, repeating the same familiar loop. You don't need more motivation, because you've already had plenty of inspired moments, they just don't last, and they always fade away. You don't need more discipline in the way you've been thinking either, because forcing yourself too hard only burns you out faster. And you definitely don't need another video, just to feel motivated for a few minutes, only for everything to go back to the same pattern afterward. What you truly need is clarity. Not a vague kind, but clarity deep enough to guide your actions every single day. Clarity about who you want to become, what version of yourself you're building. Clarity about the life you actually want, not the one others expect from you. And clarity about what truly matters to you, so you know what to focus on, and what to let go of. Because when you have clarity, everything starts to change in a very different way. You no longer have to force yourself like before, no longer need to rely on sheer willpower just to drag yourself forward step by step. You also don't have to fight yourself every day, between wanting to act and not wanting to. When you're clear, you don't depend on bursts of motivation that come and go. You don't have to wait for inspiration to start. You just need to move in the right direction. And when your direction is right, the small steps you once thought were meaningless begin to matter. You do less, but you do it right. You move slower, but with certainty. Even if progress isn't fast, you can still feel that it's real. There's no more confusion or repetition, just a clear sense of movement, little by little, but enough for you to know you're moving forward. Maybe, the problem isn't that you need to do more, try harder, or keep cramming more things into your life. Maybe, what you actually need is simpler than that. You don't need to run faster. You don't need to force yourself to become perfect overnight. Maybe, you just need to pause for a moment, slow down in the middle of busy days, and give yourself the space to really think. Just pause, and ask yourself honestly, what am I actually trying for? Are you chasing what you truly want? Or just chasing what you think you're supposed to want? And then, an even more important question, does it really matter to me? Sometimes, just gaining clarity on these things is enough to realize that you don't need to do more, you just need to move in the right direction. Because, when you truly see the right path, everything is no longer as unclear as before. You don't have to run fast, and you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Just one small step, taken in the right direction, is enough for you to feel that you're moving forward. That feeling is different. There's no more familiar loop, no more prolonged sense of being stuck. You begin to notice each change clearly, even if it's small, it's real. And then, for the first time in a long while, you realize something simple, yet important. You're no longer stuck. Don't try harder, in the same way you've been doing, where you only push yourself more but never change anything fundamental. Don't run faster just because you think that's the only way to move forward. Try differently, more consciously, with more clarity, with a deeper understanding of yourself. Try the right things, in the right direction, for what truly matters to you. If you're still here, maybe it's not a coincidence. Maybe today isn't the day you need to try harder, not the day to push yourself to do more like before. Maybe, this is the day you pause for a moment, look back, and choose a different direction. A direction that's clearer, gentler, but more aligned with who you truly are. If you really understand this, there's no need to say much. Just comment 1, as a way to remind yourself that you've realized it, and that you're ready to change direction.